Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of this solo leveling review fun series that we've got here. So, we're kicking it off with chapter 121, where we last left off. Beru was taking down the Lich King, and that's where we start. He's killed the Lich King, right? Beat him. He's done. He beat him in one punch. Beru is super powered. There we go. So, one of the dudes from the guild, he's like, Jinwoo doesn't even need to step foot inside the gate. You just gotta send his summons, and he's really good. And the leader, Park, he's like, okay, well, let's try and form an alliance with Jinwoo here, right? And he's like, he's like that, and his buddy's like, what? He's like, why would he do that? He doesn't need our help. He's got his summons. He can do that. And he's like, but Jinwoo can't bend the rules. There is a minimum number requirement for hunters to even begin a raid. So the benefit here is that Jinwoo boosts their fighting power, and they provide him with the numbers. So it's mutual beneficial, right? And his friend's like, that kind of sounds like we're riding on his coattails. He's like, no, we just have the right connections. That's the right attitude to have. So, Jinwoo is now in a car with Chairman Go. Chairman Go tells him that 213 students escaped and are fine. But all the other students have passed away. So, that is, that's an oofy right there. So, he then shows Jinwoo a graph showing that pretty much all countries are experiencing an exceptional surge in the number of gates that are coming out. However, there is also a rise in awakened beings who are becoming hunters. So he's like, we have a rise in the number of gates, but we also have a rise in the number of hunters to close those gates. So it's like the world is trying to maintain a careful balance. So Chairman Go then tells Jinwoo that, people from, oh god, there's a lot of countries. Japan, the States, China, Russia, France, UK, Germany, countries in the Middle East, they all want to meet with Jinwoo. And he's like, we don't have the authority to stop them. We can just keep your personal info private. But Chairman Go tells Jinwoo that, if Jinwoo was to leave Korea, because that's why they want to meet him. They want to meet him to recruit him. He said if Jinwoo was to leave Korea, he doesn't think that they would be able to adapt to that. So they arrive at the hospital where Jinna has been sent, and Chairman Go says, we'll do everything we can to provide for you, so please don't leave Korea, stay, right? That's what he wants. And he tells Jinwoo that, Korea has already lost 3 S-rank hunters. 2 died, and 1 left for the States. So the one who left was Hwang Danso. He left for the States, which we've seen. One of the S-ranks who died was Byung-gu in the Jeju Island raid. And the 3rd S-rank we have not seen. But, let's be honest. If you know, you know. So, he's pretty much pleading Jinwoo, please, let us know how we can accommodate you so you don't leave. So Jinwoo makes his request. He said he'd like to enter high-ranking gates alone from now on. And Chairman Go's like, well, are you asking me to get rid of the minimum capacity requirement? And Jim was like, is that a problem? And Chairman Go just says, well, it's difficult, but not impossible. So we move on to a girl. She's just coming off of, looks like a movie set or something, and she gets a phone call. And the person calling her is Jinho. Jinho is calling her, and he asks her to join his guild, saying, you should do this rather than be an ambassador for his dad's. And she says, what's with all the guild talk? Right? She's like, you're asking me to join a guild that hasn't been created? Are you sure you're not getting scammed, dude? And Jinho says, oh, but when you find out who is part of the guild, you'll be sorry. So the next day comes, she arrives at the Ajin Guild thing, and she sees there's Jinwoo, and she is fully introduced. She is Su Yin Yu. She is Jinho's cousin, and she's an A rank hunter. And she's kind of like, whoa, that's Sun Jin Woo. But, you know, she's not surprised to see him because, you know, he's like, you know, the new S rank hunter, super popular. She's like, yeah, you're the dude who ruined Lee Min Sung's press conference the other day. And Jinho's just like, that's why you're excited to be here? So Jinwoo says, like, you know, I guess everything's been explained to you, and she said, yeah. He tells her that, you know, joining the guild is gonna be a bit of a cause a stir. Are you okay with, you know, all the attention you're gonna get? She's like, hey, anything's better than being mixed up with Jin-sun. And when Jin was like, who the hell's that? Jinho's like, that's my older brother. And he's like, oh, the one who sucks? And then his cousin's like, oh, wow, yeah, I guess he's famous. Oh, elder brother slander here, it seems. So then she asks if she can get a selfie. And then we cut to, I guess this is like Parliament, right? Where a senator is like, are you out of your mind, dude? We're not gonna, like, he's talking to Chairman Go. He's like, we're not gonna just lower the requirement level to enter a raid. That's put in there for a reason. This is preferential treatment. We can't do this. So, I mean, here's the thing is, he's kind of right. You can't just, you know, say, oh yeah, this one guy doesn't want to have a whole party when he goes into a gate. Oh yeah, we'll just let him do that. Like, the thing is like, you know, for point of plot, you know, you're on Jinwoo's side and you're hoping he gets this done, right? But when you think about it, this guy makes sense. Right? He does make sense. Look, there is a reason for this regulation put in place. And Chairman goes like, yes, this is parental treatment. And then he asked him a question. If you have the option of an insult team of 20 A ranks or just Jinwoo, what would you pick? I mean, I know what I pick. I pick Jinwoo, so, you know. He then tells the senator, he's like, I heard you just moved to a new apartment recently near the Hunters Guild. Why did you move? Because the prices there are much bigger than the other areas. It's because you want safety. And he says, and that goes for everyone. Anyone with enough money wants to move somewhere safer. And he then says that, you know, guilds from around the world are going to do everything they can to get their hands on Jinwoo. And do you think he will remain here in Korea if we can't compromise, you know, for him? And he's like, if you want a repeat of the Deng So-hwan incident, then by all means, okay. He's like, but just think about what you want when another S-rank gate appears. So he's kind of, you know, right? So, we then have a picture of the selfie. It has been posted on a social media site. And, however, the person who sees the selfie is Cha. She's not happy about it, to say the least. And that's chapter 121. So moving on to chapter 122. A big gate has opened, and Jinho's kind of like, whoa, this thing's huge. So just as they're about to, you know, go into the gate, Jinjule's here. Jinwoo's just like, why are there so many people here? I kind of thought, you know, they wouldn't know about this. And he's like, well, no, the association protects your info. We can't stop, you know, knowledge of gates coming out. That's just public knowledge. Also, maybe be more careful about what you post on social media from now on. And Jin was like, yeah, the picture. By the way, they say it was posted on Instagram. I love it whenever, like, properties have to make a different name for, like, social media stuff because I can't use the real one. Like, that's fun. So before they go into the dungeon, Jinchul kind of like scans all the summons to see their rank, and we find out that most of the summons are B rank or higher. And Jinchul is actually going to join them because Chairman Go was ordered him to observe the raid. And we get to see Jinchul in like armor and stuff, and he looks pretty cool. And Jin was just like, are you gonna be okay with this? And he's like, what do you mean? And then we cut, and he just sees, like, you know, all the shadows just destroying all the monsters, and then they're getting all the crystals and stones with the mining and all that, and it's just like, you know, how Jinwoo is just a one-man wrecking crew and all that type of stuff. It's fun, you know. He's basking in the glory that is Sun Jinwoo. And especially he does take notice that Igris is like super powerful. And he's like, could I, you know, take him on one-on-one? We then see Beru just chomping on like a monster's head. You know, he's eating, he's hungry. And Jinwoo kicks him and just goes like, hey, what are you doing? Those are valuable. And my man's hungry. He's just chomping. What the hell? Like, come on, man. Leave Eru alone. So a big dungeon boss shows up. He's like, I don't know what he is. Like a snake? I think they say he's a Naga. That's what it's called. And Jinwoo's getting ready to fight him. And, you know, Jinchul's like, why? You know, your summons could have taken that on his own. And Jinwoo's like, well, you know, relying on them, it makes me lose my touch. And we get a cool shot of Jinwoo, because of course we do. And he just destroys the freaking thing. And we find out that and after, you know, he's killed the Naga, he levels up, and all of his skills level up as well. So Shadow Exchange, Monarch's Domain, Shadow Storage, and Shadow Summon, all of them have leveled up, and Jinwoo himself is now level 101. And he says that, you know, because of the upgrade, the cooldown for Shadow Exchange has went down by an hour. So every time Shadow Exchange levels up, the cooldown goes down an hour. So he's like, eventually, if I keep leveling this up, I can do whatever. I can just go as quick as I want, right, everywhere. And then Jinwoo summons the Naga back alive, but it's smaller than he expected. So he's like, maybe this is its normal size, and it was using its magic to make itself bigger. Upon summoning it, it's level 13. It's the same rank as Tusk, and it is in Elite Knight. He's like, yeah, it's much smaller, all that type of stuff. It has an enormous amount of mana. It's going to be fun to have this in his army. And he renames it to Jima. Jima. So then they have Tusk bring the corpse of the Naga outside, because, you know, it's valuable for the Hunters Association and all that. And all the reporters are taking pictures like, oh my god, take a photo of this. This is crazy. And you just see Tusk. He's like, he thinks they're happy to see him, and he's like, "Aw, yeah, oh shucks, man," you know, type of thing. And then as they leave the gate, Jinchul is like stun locked with what he's just witnessed, and he gives his report to Chairman Go, and he's like, "Yeah, that's all what happened." And Chairman Go is like, "Ah, so I guess now you understand why Jinwoo is so valuable, I guess, right?" And you know, he tells Jinchul, "Take some time, man. You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot today." And then we cut to Japan, where up above them there is like a giant black wormhole that's kind of opening up. It is a gate, but it's like black. So that's interesting. And that's where we end this chapter, and that's where we're gonna end this video. Leave it on a little thing. This is much more low-key. You know, we get Jinho's his cousin joining the Ajin Guild. So now the Ajin Guild has the 3 members required to fully be a guild. Cha gets a little jelly, which is fun. That's all fun. And Jinchul gets to see the magnificence of Jinwoo being the man. It was fun. It's awesome. So that's gonna do it for me. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below, and I will see you guys all next time.